So, okay, let's start. In this video, we will have two parts. In the first part, I will give you the steps that you have to go through pre-departure, so things that you have to do before you move to Germany. In the second part, I will give you the steps that you have to take as an international student. We're talking here about international students that you have to do upon arrival in Germany. I'm Ellen. I live in Germany for the last 5 years, and in my previous video I told you how I got 5 offers in 5 steps. Check that video if you don't know how to do that. I applied to German universities myself. That was in 2019. I applied for 8 universities, and in the end I got 5 offers. In the end of my video, I told you that it's not actually that hard to get into the German university as it is hard to do the things that come afterwards. Receiving an offer from a German university, it's exciting. Of course, you will be super happy and full of emotions, over the moon, as I was probably. This milestone is just a beginning of your journey, and your journey is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, because Germany is full of international students, full of different bureaucratic processes that you have to go through, and sometimes you lose your patience. I was just thinking, maybe my experience, what I know, can help others to go through all of this a little bit easier. That's why I do my guides, I create videos, I have my Instagram. Please follow me on my Instagram, because I have short videos also there on a daily basis about my life as an expat in Germany. All of that will help you. Let's talk about the steps that you have to go through before departure to Germany. First thing, you need to accept the offer. I didn't have on top of my mind where I want to study. So when I received 5 offers, I was like, shit, where I actually want to study. And then I had my own strategy of picking up the criteria that are foremost important for me. How you need to choose your university based on not only the rating of the university. It's bullshit. For Germany, it's not relevant. In Germany, any university is good. Even the shittiest university in Germany will be better than best high-ranked universities in other European countries. I studied in Netherlands, I studied in Czech Republic, I studied in Russia, so I have experience of studying both in Eastern European and Western European countries, and trust me, German universities are the best. Of course, if you want like a nice maybe tick in your CV or your resume that you studied in Frankfurt Business School, for example, yeah, then you can go for it. But I can tell you, people who work with me at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, and they completed Frankfurt Business School, and I completed Mainz University of Applied Sciences, they get the same salary as me and they have the same job position. It doesn't give them anything. So apart from that mainstream criteria that students look at, I would say that you have to look at the costs that you have to cover also when you live in that city where you're going to study, and the job opportunities foremost. But I have a separate video about that. Next step is you have to open a blocked account. That's the step that you have to do before applying for visa. Nobody at the embassy, at the German consulate, will consider your application if you don't have this main prerequisite for the student, for the international German student visa, which is a bank account, and especially blocked bank account. You have 3 options. You have a guarantee from your parents, you have a scholarship, and then you have a blocked account. But in any case, even if you have a guarantee from your parents that they're going to sponsor you or any other family member, still I think most of the consulates, they will ask you to provide this money also via blocked account. So your parents or your sponsor will have to give you a lump sum that you have to put in that blocked account, show it to the consular in that blocked account. They will not accept just a normal regular certificate from a normal bank. They need a blocked account. 3 main providers who work with international students in Germany, these are Coracle, Expatrio and Fintiba. I can have a separate video about that if you're interested. So you have to pick up a provider, you have to contact them, you have to tell them, hey guys, I need to apply for an international student visa for Germany, how I can open a blocked account, and they will explain you everything. I showed, I think, a little more than 10,000 euro. It was 10,200 something, and I transferred that money to my blocked account, and I received a certificate, like a confirmation, just a paper, a confirmation from Coracle that I have that money on my blocked account, and I showed that in my package for the visa. Once you have your blocked account, you can collect other documents, do everything regarding visa also in your research phase. Once you have the very first idea of studying in Germany, apart from research in universities, research also what you have to do for the visa, because you will need to cover your costs, you need to think about your finances, how you're gonna live there, where you're gonna live, and all of that. So collect all of that information in the research phase, or use the guides. I also have a guide. You can buy it to make your life easier if you want. Among the visa documents, I think you might also be required to show where you're gonna live. So step number 3 is collecting documents for your visa and applying for visa. Let's say preliminary, you will need to have an idea where you're going to live. You kind of need to confirm your accommodation once you have a visa, not vice versa. For visa, you just need to show like idea where you're going to live, but it shouldn't be like final decision. That's why once you have your visa confirmed, you can confirm also as step number 4 your accommodation. Most popular sources for finding accommodation as a student in Germany, it's WG Gesucht and ImmoScout24. These are 2 sources which are mostly used not only by students and not only by international people, but also by locals in Germany. WG Gesucht is about shared apartments where you live with other students. This is the cheapest option that you can have, and if you are well off and you can afford a whole apartment for yourself, then you can go to ImmoScout24 and search for 1 or 2 bedroom apartments there in your city. But I can tell you, I wouldn't advise doing that because there are a lot of scammers. Also, because you are searching remotely apartment, you cannot validate it, you need to do it in person. That's why I chose to live in a dormitory which was provided by the university. It was for me the safest option. I think I made a contract for 1 semester. That was the optimal option for me to have something for visa, not too fast with this search because it's very hard to find something in Germany, something cheap, something adequate, you know, something in good conditions. I wouldn't suggest fussing about that when you are not in the country. Rather start searching something better than a dormitory once you land in the country, but not before that. If you want a safe option, go for dormitory. The only problem is that the places in the dormitories are very quickly taken, so be fast. As soon as you have the offer from the university, check if they have their own dormitories and try to book a room for yourself. Step number 5 is arranging health insurance. Here I took it as a step number 5, but actually it could be combined with blocked account if you want. The thing is, it's not necessary for your visa. At least in my case, it wasn't necessary. For my case, for the visa, you are actually required to have a travel insurance. Please don't confuse them. Travel insurance is different from health insurance. Travel insurance is necessary for the visa application. Health insurance is necessary for staying in Germany. In general, everybody who stays in Germany long term has to have a health insurance, regardless whether you are a student, you are a worker, you are local or international, it doesn't matter. You need to have a health insurance, and it can be public or private. I wouldn't recommend going for a private health insurance because you will have problems with having possibility to see any type of doctor. It's very limited. And also because you pay much less than public health for the public health insurance, you also have a very limited choice of services that you can use, medical services, I mean, of course. And it's also, I think, hard to switch from private to public if you want in the future. Therefore, it's a general advice, go from the very beginning for a normal public Krankenkasse. Krankenkasse is a health insurance in Germany. Why I say it can be combined with blocked account, because these three providers, Coracle, Fintiba and Expatrio, they can arrange the health insurance contract for you together with a blocked account. They also sell kind of like packages for international students where everything is already included: travel insurance, health insurance and blocked account. Step number 6 is learn a little bit of German. If you don't speak any German, that's a trouble. For me it was easy because I did linguistics bachelor and my first language was German. Even though I never practiced German properly in Germany, my master was in English, my job is in English, my corporate language is in my company is in English. All of my friends were international, so our language of communication was English, so I had no necessity to properly practice German, which is now a problem for me. I highly recommend, if you are an international student, let's say even if you're not going to stay in Germany after you complete your study, whatever can happen, you can have high expectations that be not met when you arrive in Germany and you live there a couple of years and you say, oh, that's a piece of shit, this country, I want to leave. Nevertheless, a little bit of German is still necessary. Why? In all of these official institutions and authorities, like for example Einwohnermeldeamt and Bürgeramt, you see, I had German as my first language at the university, but I still second it. These are official institutions, city municipalities and whatsoever, where you have to register. This is going to be a step when you arrive in Germany. They don't speak English or they don't want to. These guys can be quite nasty to internationals. That was my experience. They were usually very rude to me. And when you try to ask them politely, could you speak English with me? They are like, no. And it's justified, because these authorities, these officials, they have all the rights to speak the official language of the country. They actually don't have to be friendly to you and come towards you and speak the language that you can understand. They don't have to do that. It's your obligation to rarely, but it still happens, go to officials and do your bureaucratical processes that you have to do when you're in Germany. Sometimes you can be lucky and there could be a nice lady who speaks English and she doesn't mind to do that with you, but it's not that, it happens not that often, let's say. Therefore, if you don't speak any German and you applied completely exclusively for an English speaking program, a master program in Germany, I think you might have difficulties. It will not be only regarding these officials, it will be difficult for you to integrate into German society if you don't know the culture, if it's necessary to speak the language of the country where you move. At least at the basic level. And then step number 7, book your flights. Here what you have to be careful is the prices. Of course, everything should be done well in advance, and flight tickets not an exception here. If you book it last minute, trust me, the prices will be like really, really high. If there is a chance that you can book it with an option to return it or refund it, that would be nice. Otherwise, if you're a millionaire, of course you shouldn't care about it that much, so you can book it last minute once you have your visa. Buying tickets, of course, ideally has to come after you have your visa confirmed, otherwise you will waste your money. Or, as I said, pick up the option where you can have a refund in case your visa was rejected and you cannot go to Germany. That's it. This is part number 1. Stay tuned, we still have part number 2.